Instant and active dry yeast are the most common forms of yeast found in the supermarket. And while they have a similar dry, granulated texture, they're not the same. Active dry yeast is made using high heat processes that turn wet, fresh yeast into dry granules. The heat destroys many of the yeast's outer cells, which encapsulate living centers. Therefore, active dry yeast must be dissolved or proofed in warm, not hot water to slough off dead cells to reach the living center. Ideally, the liquid should be about 105 degrees. Water hotter than 115 degrees will kill the yeast cells. Called instant, rapid rise, or bread machine yeast, instant yeast look very similar to active dry yeast. However, because they're subjected to a gentler drying process than active dry yeast, every particle is living in instant yeast. This means instant yeast can be mixed directly with recipe ingredients without first being dissolved in water or proofed. This is what characterizes it instant and makes it our test kitchen preference for yeasted doughs. Also, we prefer instant yeast because it's about 25% more potent than active dry yeast and gives dough a better rise. Therefore, to substitute instant yeast in a recipe that calls for, let's say, 1 teaspoon of active dry yeast, just use 3/4 of a teaspoon of instant.